Hi there, Laura here from Get Organized HQ, and welcome to our plan with me for 2023. We are going to be planning our year together to make sure that we start off on the right foot. Now, if you have, planned your year before, set goals, all of those things, and you haven't used this method, I highly encourage you to give it a try because it was specifically designed for people like me who had tried other goal setting systems that just didn't work. So this one is super simple and super easy to follow through on, and you're gonna be amazed at what progress you make at the end of the year. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's first talk about what we need. Now this is designed, I hope that you literally do it with me. If you really want to, you can go ahead and watch the whole thing and then do it yourself, but I would love for you to do it with me. Now, there's certain supplies you're gonna need. Our products are designed specifically to go with this exact system. So if you have one of those, that is fantastic. That would be our planner. We still do have some of these plaid covers left. So if you want to get one of these for yourself, you can. This is if you're like a pen and paper girl, your traditional paper planner. We also have a digital or tablet planner designed to be used on your tablet. It's almost the exact same thing with a few more pages because it doesn't add bulk. You can do that. Or we also have a printable version if you want like the instant gratification of going ahead, having it on your computer right away and printing it out for yourself. That is available to you as well. They are still on sale for a very short time for our New Year's bundle. You can get an awesome deal. So I will link that down below and you can get those if you want. However, I really want you to hear me here. Do not use not having one of these tools if you don't have one as an excuse for not planning and not setting goals. If you don't have one of these, or if you cannot fit it in your budget, take out a notebook from the Dollar Tree and a pen. I mean, we all have a pen, right? And do it that way. It's fun, it's cool if you have the tools. I love using the tools, but it shouldn't stop you from going ahead and being the best you in 2023 and setting your goals. I feel like it is so much more fun, and I actually do it when I set aside time to do it somewhere like this with someone. And if you like that, you are absolutely going to love the Insiders. That is our membership where we all come together, we support each other. I do one of these plan with me's every single month, so you make sure you set aside that time and you don't fall off the wagon of planning. We also have so many other things in there. We have like every printable resource that you could imagine. We have Organize Me in 2023, which is going to help us go through our entire home step by step in little small manageable chunks so that by the end of the year we've at least addressed some clutter and done some organizing in each area, and we're going to be all doing that together, complete with fun prizes. I can't wait. So this is the time to get in. Right now, for a very limited time, you can get in for just $1. So make sure you check that out. So the first step in planning is really easy, and it's kind of just designed to kind of get your wheels turning, to get you thinking in the vein of planning. So you're going to answer the About Me page. It just asks for some facts about you, think of some favorites, think about the things that you like to do and the things that are stressing you. And that really sets you up to really get in that frame of mind and think about those reflection questions. So then you'll be in a better spot to do the rest of the exercises. So go ahead, and if you'd like to, pause this while you're filling out that About Me page. And my favorite on this page is one thing I've always dreamed of doing is you put anything on there. The sky is the limit. And it doesn't mean you're going to do it this year. It just means like, here is something I've always dreamed of doing. Like maybe you've always dreamed of skydiving. I personally have not, but if you have, then great, write that on there. So next, we get to the actual meat of the system, which is your focus areas. This you're going to be referring back to all throughout the year as you use this planner and as you make your monthly plans, and you're only going to need to do this part once, and I think it's really fun. So the first thing you're going to want to do is pick out your focus areas. So these are the different aspects of your life that you want to focus on this year, or at least put some amount of focus on this year of improving. So that could be things like your relationship with your kids, being a good friend, your home, things like that. And we've even given you some ideas in the back if you're using our planner. Then it comes with these stickers that give you ideas. I'll just go ahead and read what these are. Health and fitness, spiritual life, motherhood, career, self-development, self-care, finances, spouse, friendships, fun and hobbies, giving and volunteering, cleaning, and organization. So those are just some ideas we gave you, but you can write your own if you prefer to do that, and you can be really creative with the names. You can be really boring, whatever your heart desires. I will also say, if you've done this in previous years, and I'm kind of going to assume in this video that you're new to this, so I don't want to assume that you've already done anything, but I know a lot of you are doing this for the second, third, fourth, fifth year. You can go back to last year, and if you like those focus areas, then keep them up. For me personally, I love the focus areas I did last year. I love those. Those are the areas I want to work on. I love the way that I phrased it. So I personally am keeping with those focus areas this year. So I already kind of have that work done. One thing I want to point out in the planner is that just before this focus area starts, we have a notes and thoughts page. And that is the page where I like to kind of brainstorm all of my ideas for the different focus areas that I might want to have. And like, it's messy. Like, and if I didn't say this already, do not be whoops, I just threw the pen. I did not mean to do that. I picked it up by like the top. But do not be afraid of getting it messy. That is what I created this planner for. It's meant to be messy. Get it out and use it. It's not meant to be a work of art. It's not meant to be perfect. Some of you may gasp at this, but I literally often throw my planners away at the end of the year. You don't have to, but it isn't something that is like a work of art. You don't have to post pictures of it if you don't want to. It is a tool for you to like get it messy. So go ahead and do that and use this page as like brainstorming. If you need to get out another notebook, if you want to brainstorm and journal more, totally go for it. But that's kind of what this page was designed to do, is kind of be like a scratch pad for getting ready to fill out your focus areas. So I'm going to share a little bit about how I did this last year when I was brainstorming and using these notes pages. Now I use the tablet planner, so like the Apple Pencil with the iPad, but this exact same pages are in the physical planner or the printable, whichever you choose to go with. So I first used these pages to say what's weighing me down. I just took a list of everything that was like on my mind that I felt like was weighing on me, and I used our little stickers to make little arrows to kind of bullet that out and just get that all out on paper. So you can do that if you want to. And then I also talked about successes and wins. Like took some time to think about what was good last year. And then I brainstormed a bunch of possible focus areas down here. And then I was able to put those all together into my actual focus areas, which for me were taking care of my body, taking care of my mind, taking care of my soul, taking care of my family, and taking care of my home. So, and one more, taking care of my work. So I loved the word of taking care. That was just kind of the focus that I had, and I liked the way that I phrased them. So I'm doing that again this year. The next thing that you're going to want to do once you've got your focus areas down, use the stickers if you want to, or write them in, is there, you'll see there's numbers below that line. That is so you can rate how you feel like you're doing in that area, like right now. And basically kind of how you felt like you did in the past year. And it's going to be really interesting to go back and kind of compare how you're doing. Are you improving? Or do you feel like you're doing worse? And when you look back next year, that'll be really exciting. So go ahead and circle like how you think you're doing in that area right now. So give yourself a rating. I use like 1 would be the worst, like I'm not doing so well, and 10 would be like I'm doing awesome in that area. So go through each of them, or you can go through one at a time, whichever you prefer, and give it a rating. Then, I love these questions. What made me happy and what made me sad in that specific area? So you're gonna just think through, for that area of your life, what made you happy and what made you sad. Me, for example, in focus area number 5, last year, I haven't done mine for this year. I did not want to rush it to get it done in time for this video. And if you had to watch me in real time, this video would be like 5 hours long. It's really hard to think on video. So we're going to use last year's as an example. So for me, for taking care of my home, what made me happy was getting a new house and doing lots of decorating. I did way more decorating than I usually do. What made me sad was hassle, like the times when I just felt a lot of pressure and I felt like everything was a hassle. We had problems with our house, of course, I mean, who doesn't? And having just too many things that just were undone that I planned to get done. So that's kind of an example of what's made me happy and sad in that area. But you fill out for yourself. Then this is my another favorite part of mine. I guess they're all favorites, really. Things to improve. So this is where I would like to, like, ideas for specific actions I can take to improve. So for me, it was like decorate everywhere, meaning like, decorate the whole house, not just like 1 or 2 rooms. Fix body sprayers in our shower. They don't work and they haven't for a while. Organizing the pantry, decanting shampoos, like to make them all match. Organizing the master bathroom, labeling the master closet, getting drywall and floors done on the garage. Those are some ideas of things to improve. And I want to say here, this is really, really important. So hear this. And this is kind of different than some other systems. When I write something down on like the things to improve, these are just some specific things that I'd like to do at some point. I am not, number one, committing to do these things in the year that I write these down. So when I wrote this down, I wasn't saying that we were going to get drywall and floors in the garage this year, or that I even wanted to do that. It was just something that's on my mind. So I put those down as potential things. So you're not saying that you're doing them this year necessarily. You're also not saying when you're doing them. So even if I did some of these things, but I wasn't trying to say, like, I'm not trying to sit here in January and say, well, I know next October, that's when I'm going to organize the pantry. I'm not committing. So it's more open-ended. So I feel like it gives you more freedom as you are working on it to not feel constrained and to also not feel like you're committing. You're not going to be able to do all these things. We always have more things we want to work on than we can probably get done in a year. And that's okay. I just want you to have all your ideas here, and I want you to have that feeling of like they're all there. Like I'm not forgetting them, and you can add to this. I think I added to this throughout the year. So I want that. That's the goal of this. It's not to worry, especially in this little box, it's not to worry about if you're doing it this year and when in the year you're doing it. It's just to freely brainstorm all the ways that you want to improve, and I can give you some more ideas. Sometimes I just love looking at other people's ideas. So for example, in taking care of my family, what made me happy was gardening with the kids, doing school with the kids, finishing kindergarten curriculum with Savannah. What made me sad was behavior issues, not being always on the same page in our marriage, things to improve, get my son to learn his letters, do summer school with both the kids. And that wasn't even necessarily, like, I did it the year before, but I think that was one of the things that I wanted to make sure I did. Have them being responsible for their rooms, finding ways for them to just do more work around the house, having more regular parenting discussions with my spouse and having a written plan for that, and it just goes on. I won't keep reading, but those are just some ideas to hopefully get your wheels turning. So go through each of these and brainstorm your list of things to improve. This is, again, don't hold back. Whatever comes to mind, write it down. This is, okay, I know I've said everything is my favorite, but really and truly, if there was one favorite part of this whole prompt page, it would be this question. If I could only improve one thing in this area by the end of 2023, what would I want it to be? So you've written all these ideas, but this is going to help you pick out your area of focus. And I think it really helps when you ask it this way, because if I just said, what is most important to you? That's a really hard question to answer. And I mean, it feels all kind of important. But this is just saying, if there's only, if I, imagine yourself, it's the end of 2023, December 31st, or it's Christmas or whatever, the end of the year, and you, in this area, you only got one thing done, but you got that thing done. What do you hope that it is? And that really helps you think. And then it's just going to help you know what to focus on. So for me, it was having most spaces more decorated. That was important to me in my home. So that was my answer. But again, yours will be totally different. So go ahead and answer this question. All right. And the next question and the last question in all of these areas is what I will let go, because we can't do everything. So if there was something you put under things to improve that isn't going to happen this year, put it on the what I will let go. Or if there's just something in general, that you just need to let it go. Like maybe, if you are thinking about parenting and you see all these people doing these cute crafts with their kids, but you are not a crafting person. You didn't even put that on your things to improve, but you can say, I'm letting that go. I'm not someone who crafts with my kids. That's fine. For me, in the area of taking care of my home, I put making the decor perfect. And that's how I wrote it, but I knew I meant a lot more than that. I meant that sometimes I feel pressure, I'm gonna share it on Instagram and Pinterest, and it needs to be worthy of all of these things. And I let that go, and I really did, and it really made a difference. Like, I am so happy that I did that. I just gave up on having my spaces look Pinterest worthy or magazine worthy or anything like that. I gave up even thinking about the fact that, you know, I do share my home sometimes in like videos and social media and things like that. I just gave up on like even thinking about what people would like, and I was like, this home is for our family. I'm gonna make it for our family first, and then I will share what I have done. If someone likes it, great. If that's not their style, that's fine too. There's probably plenty of other people they can follow that is their style, and that just helped so much. I just felt like all this relief, and I felt freedom. Like, usually I just get paralyzed and don't even decorate. I don't make it like feel like a home, but now I just felt that freedom to like, yes, I'm gonna decorate the way I like, and it has felt more like a home, and I've really enjoyed that. So answer the what I will let go for each of those. All right, next up, this is the last part of the focus areas, and then we're basically done. We will go ahead and make our plan for January though, because you want to go ahead and do that as well. But this is where you're going to take those things and like really make your plan where the rubber meets the road. So you're going to take each of the things to improve, and for the ones where you know that you want to get it done this year, I want you to go ahead and write them in the goal area. So you don't have to take every single thing, and if there's more than 8, that's too much. So just write the first few things that you know you're going to want to work on. And again here, you're just getting these really organized. So now when you go to make your monthly plan, you don't have to worry about all the stuff on the left side of the page. You're just looking at a very clear list of like, here's the options I have for what I can focus on in that area. So it makes it really simple. It makes it look really clean and like just really clear. So go ahead and fill that section out. So once you've done that, and again, you don't need 8, I would just do 2 to 3. And then if you get those done, you can always add more later if you want to. So here's what I did in the health arena. I said eating at meal times only and like not snacking is what I want to work on. Rereading some health books that I really liked and I would like to read again. Exercising on my spin bike daily. Setting up supplement and medicine and like symptom tracking, so I keep better track of it. Getting a referral for physical therapy. Planning healthy meals and organizing recipes physically and digitally will really help with health because then it's easier to find those. So those are kind of how I mapped it out from this like really long list of things to improve where I got it really specific there. Then the next part of this is you say where you're going to say whether each one of them is a habit or a project. And if you are in our physical planner, you have stickers for this. Who doesn't love stickers? And there's enough, there's plenty of them. So you're going to go to each one and you're going to go to habit and project. There's one for every of the 6 colors since your focus areas are color coded. And you're just going to pick off the sticker for habit or project and put it there. So there's 8 of each. So you could have every single one could be a habit or every single one could be a project. So there's plenty of stickers there. We have digital stickers if you're using the digital planner as well. And if you're using the printable, you can just write it in there, whether it's a habit or a project. And so let's talk a little bit about habit and projects and like our reasoning behind that. So a habit is a goal that is ongoing. Like you really want to do this indefinitely, possibly the rest of your life, but on a regular basis for a long time, it's never really done. So like for me, for like not snacking, that isn't like, I just want to not snack today and okay, I'm done. I can snack, no. Or something like exercising regularly or drinking enough water. It's not really something that you want to do once and like you're done. It's something you want to keep doing. Or maybe you want to, read daily with your kids. Those are all habits, like an ongoing thing. As opposed to a project, which is a one and done, like reorganizing the pantry. Okay, you could complete that. I reorganized it. Completing XYZ curriculum with your child. That like you've completed it. It's done. It's a project. Or as opposed to just like having a habit of exercise, you might have like run a marathon or a half marathon or a 5K. That would be a project, like it gets completed. So you're going to identify whether each of these is a habit or a project. And the goal of that is really, we only have so much bandwidth, so we can get more projects done usually if they're not too big. But habits, we're going to have to narrow down our focus, so you can't try to build like 10 new habits at once. That's not going to happen. So it's helpful to know at the beginning whether it's a habit or project, and this will help you when it comes to making your monthly plan. So at this point, you should have your focus areas filled out. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, you do not have to do all 6. You can totally do just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many you want. I caution you, do not go above 6. That's just too much to keep track of in one year. So, but you don't have to fill them all out, and you certainly do not have to fill out all of the goals. I didn't, and I would never do that much. And again, when you're putting these down in the goal section, 2 things. I'm still not committing to getting all of these done this year. And I'm not saying when I'm going to do them. Okay, so you've got all that. Now this comes to the monthly planning part. And this part, once you've done this, planning for the year, this part is so easy. Like, I am always shocked at how quickly I get it done. And how much easier it is now that I've done like the prep work for the year. And with our system, every month you get a completely fresh slate. And I cannot tell you how much that helps me. And I hope that it helps you too, that you're never carrying things over. You're never just like carrying over past failures or things that didn't work out. You're always starting with a fresh slate. And these plan with me's that we're going to do right now for January, if you like this, if you love this accountability of like doing it together and feeling like you're not alone, if you want to see what other people's goals are, we do this every single month in Insiders. That's our membership for those of you who want extra support around organizing and implementing these systems. So you get the plan with me's every month. You get tons of printable resources and tools. You get Organize Me in 2023, which is where we're going to go through every space in our home together in 2023 and give it some attention, some decluttering, some organizing. Super fun. If you're interested in that, go check out the link below. For a short time, you can actually get it for just $1. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested. So let's go ahead and plan now for the month of January, and this is what you're going to do each month. So I like to start with just looking at the calendar for the month and filling out any like appointments, birthdays, things that I want to remember. So this is pretty straightforward and easy. Next, we go to the actual goal setting page, and it's literally just one page, and it goes back to what we just did. So we're going to have each focus area, and they're color coded. I just love color coding. So here, focus area 1 is taking care of my body, and I go back to what I wrote in January and I pick one of those items that I am going to work on. And you don't have to go in any order, just pick one project. And most of these goals, you're going to want to be projects, not habits. So I'll get to that in a minute. So pick the one that you most want to work on. And if it's a habit that you want to cultivate, we can't do too many of those at once, but you can kind of start it with a project, meaning, like, let's say that you have not worked out at all. Like, working out is important to you. So you could have as a project something like try 4 different ways of exercising this month. Like, try spin bike, try XYZ gym and another gym, or something like that. You can have that. Or maybe you know, for example, that you like spinning. That's my exercise of choice on the spin bike. You know that's what you want to do, so your project could be get a spin bike and get your room set up. Or you already have one, you just need to, like, the room is a mess. Like, it's really a storage spot. Then clean it out. So you can kind of start with a project as a way to kind of pave the way for making this habit easier. So I just wanted to throw that out there, but you're going to pick one from each area. So I'll pick one from taking care of my body, one from taking care of my mind. Just pick one of these things from each area. And then you're going to put it into your plan for January. So this is where we're starting with a clean slate. We're not carrying anything over. We're just going to each one and saying what makes the most sense at this stage in the game, at this coming month, with where I am in life, what makes the most sense. The other thing that you're going to do here is I like every month just to rate myself. So this 1 to 10 down here is just a rating system. So 1 being not doing so hot and 10 being doing amazing. So just rate yourself in each area. It's really fun at the end of the year to go back and look and see kind of how you rated yourself and kind of how the year went in each of these areas. And you'll often find, like, for me, that like one area is like really low and one is really high. That's very normal. So go ahead and write each of those and do your ratings. And as you go throughout the month, you can come back and cross these off if that's what you'd like to do. Highlight them, put a little checkbox, put a little sticker, however you want to notate getting them done. And the other important thing is, you're going to try to focus on getting these things done in this month. However, this is really important. If you don't get something done, it doesn't automatically carry over. You're just going to start February with a fresh slate. So let's say that I wanted to do one of these things. Like, let's say in taking care of my home, I wanted to decorate my entryway and living room in January. If I did not get that done in January and I'm ready to plan for February, I'm going to look back at that and I'm going to say, is that what I want to do in February? And it may be that, like, actually, nope, just kidding. Like, February is not a good month for that. I don't even want to focus on my home in February. I got 5 million other things, so I don't put anything there at all. Or I'm like, actually, I really want to focus on my bedroom this month instead, so you don't automatically carry things over. And that's how you're able to plan just a month at a time, but you still have all of those goals there. You haven't lost them. You've had that moment to, like, brainstorm and write out all of your goals and the things that you'd like to do, but you haven't had to assign them to specific months, so you can't really get behind. Because I think one of the problems and one of the temptations is, like, I get really excited at the beginning of the year, and I think many of us do, like, you're super motivated, and you're like, yes, this is going to be my year, I'm going to do all these awesome things. So then, like, you write off this whole list, and then you get out these, like, big calendars, who doesn't love calendars and sticky notes and, like, color coding and highlighters, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this in week 1, I'm going to do this in week 2, and, like, you have, like, 52 weeks of things mapped out. But here's what happens. Even if you're pretty motivated, I mean, like, February 2nd, you get sick and you're, like, down for the count for, like, a week. So then you're behind. And then you forgot that you were going to have company plus some other big thing you had to do, and you couldn't do the thing for the next week, and then you're, like, 2 weeks behind. And by then, you're just hopeless. And that's what makes it go out the window. So with this system, you can't really get behind. So you can always make progress, and you're not assigning your things to, like, something way in the future when you're not even sure how life is going to look in 6 to 8 months. So that's what I love about this. And it really is as simple as that. And then after that, as you get into your weeks, you're just going to plan your days. Take a look at this, see if there's something from this that you can incorporate in your days. And for our days, I like to do our 3 bucket system. If you haven't watched that video, I'm going to link it down below.